But all I did was drive by, stop, and go into one bookstore. You know?
Anyway, I was going to say, tell you about this professor I got.
Yeah.
She's doing her work on disability.
Disability?
Disability. She's in a wheelchair. I mean, that sounds... She's
Okay.
actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Like the philosophy of disability? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, or disability policy, what
Yeah.
American policy,
Yeah.
how it changes.
Yeah, but none of that stuff is traditional philosophy in the sense of trying to get at the underlying.
Yeah, that's you're right. That's definitely stuff.
I mean, nobody looks at what is beauty anymore, for example, or what is a value, or what's
Ethics?
culture.
They look at ethics though, right?
You know,
Or is
yeah,
that
but
in like jurisprudence or
ethics
something?
in
It's like
our
law.
college is a separate department. It's outside the Department of Philosophy.
Is it something within legal area?
Actually, it's in the College of Urban Studies. The College of Urban Studies is a place where they dumped a lot of departments that just were kind of independent.
Women's studies.
A lot of different people take ethics, a lot of different majors.
No,
Environmental
women's-
studies, take an ethics course.
We have an ethics of environmental science. I used to teach environmental science itself, not the ethics course. We have women's studies is in our Department of Sociology. And there's some weird people in our Department of Sociology. There's two postmodernist guys that are standoffish and separate. Then there's I mean, this is not a
Lesbians.
derogatory sense, you know, but there's about half a dozen lesbians in there. Two of them, I know two or three of them very well. One of them is a life mate to a person that we just hired in science education. And, you know, we've been to the parties and things, and I go on these AIDS marches and all that stuff.
How much is it, you know, when
it's
people are
dominated.
hired as professors?
Yeah.
How much is it definitely like who you know and like whose parties you've been to and that sort of thing?
Yeah, you know, first of all, everybody's going to have good letters of recommendation. But
Say that again.
Yeah, what is this?
Say that again. I don't even know her.
I don't know at all. I mean, this is the craziest thing that's happened to me in my life.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, what's happening is because I couldn't do this when I was young, and I wanted to. And you know, I make more money than I spend now, so you know. This is fascinating. This is a news story about a UNLV course that's entitled Pornography Studies.
Oh, are you going to teach it?
No, it's taught out of sociology. Two women teach it. It's called Sex American Style, an illustrated walk through the golden age of heterosexuality. The other book is Horrors and Other Feminists.
So it's a feminist.
It's on. Yeah, it's taught out of women's studies. Two women are co-teaching it, but half the people who sign up for it are men.
Huh.
Who are more experts than females usually?
Well, that was unusual.
Susie Bright came to our school one time, like a lecture. That was
Here's a Washington map.
Washington D.C.
Yeah,
I've actually got one of those.
I'm sure you.
I
do.
have the same exact one.
Remember the video cam?
Yeah.
Here's the instructions for it.
Huh.
Sorry about that. Remember, here's, oh my God, here it is.
What is
sweetest reward. And who's that?
How do you think it is?
Krista?
No, it's not Tristan.
A clown?
a clown? Is that the psychotic drawing you were talking about?
Yeah, it's a psychotic painting. It's
Oh.
oil. As a matter of
Wow.
fact, it's this size, 8 by 10.
Cool. Is that a copy for me?
What?
You did it? Did you make it?
Yeah, I painted it. It was
I like
a
it.
combination of one of Trista's pictures and Lola,
Run, Lola, run, you know?
but I was in a psychotic breakdown at the time. Actually, it wasn't a psychotic breakdown. It was
Special space.
just a last. Here's the full-time stress of part-time professors. watch out. If you go and get your doctorate in liberal arts, you wind up being a part-time professor, and they don't pay you at all. No benefits, no nothing.
Yeah.
Here's your email back.
Which
And-
email?
What?
Which email?
The email about the parts. And these are the parts that you're getting, the ones that are checked.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool.
Cool.
On Wednesday.
Yeah, 10 o'clock.
Before we
Here's
go.
that stuff from that book, Love.
We'll be set.
Here's a combination picture of Simone de Beauvoir and Jean-Paul Sartre. And there's about, I don't know, 2 pages on them, and then here's Linnaeus Nin and Henry Miller.
Is that from that book you were talking about?
Yeah.
Great. Excellent.
Do you want to take the book to Europe, or
Take that. You gave me
Or
one
do you
for
want it now?
France.
it's kind of like a history or a century of love, and it has 2-page stories of people, famous people, like Bogart and Paul, Simone Signoret and Yves Montand, and some people had legal marriages.
Yeah, I'd like to. Maybe I can check it out before. While
You want to look at
you're
it
here,
now
yeah.
for
Yeah.
please? Okay.
What are the flags? What are the flags pages?
One of them is Henry Miller and Linnaeus Nin. We've been talking about. Actually, she's been talking. You know that movie Henry and June.
Yeah.
She's been talking about this trip, and Henry and June were foursome.
So it's you.
I can't. Without all the bullshit.
She has also been talking about doing a film or a screenplay or a book.
Yeah,
about
because they
Simone
don't
de Beauvoir
have.
and Jean-Paul
There's
Sartre.
no film on the relationship between de Beauvoir and Sartre, right? Well, what we could do is make like a screenplay based on the information we can get on them.
We have to get Nelson Algren in there. Ask him can play Algren. Nelson Algren was
That's
de
right.
Beauvoir's love of her life.
Really?
Number 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who will be who?
Well, what did?
we went
Can I
through
see the
this
picture
already.
of Simone? Simone.
Simone
Can I see a picture of Simone?
Simone de Beauvoir.
She didn't look like either one of us.
What does she look like?
This is not a picture of Simone de Beauvoir. This is a picture of Simone de Beauvoir
And Jean-Paul
and
Sartre.
Jean-Paul Sartre superimposed.
There she is. She
Yeah.
just kind of
Where should? Can I see?
plain, average.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to find the literary landmarks so we could.
I'm more interested in literary Paris than anything else, I mean, I first fell in love with Paris through Hemingway, and then Fitzgerald, and then Springfield. Then I went to visit I was stationed there in the Air Force, and my first wife.
We have Nelson. No,
I need to
get
get
Bill to dye his hair. He plays South.
that hotel, Quai Voltaire. That's all they had was one single room. Everything was filled up on the 16th, the weekend of the 16th, which is how we got to this hotel, which is on Rue de Saint-André des Arts. Do you know where that is? Place Saint-André des Arts. It's about 1 block up from Place Saint-Michel. It's kind of a noisy neighborhood, a lot of bars, a lot of cafes.
Sounds okay.
Oh yeah, it's going to be okay, I think. But before, I need to give you Katu's phone number. Kathleen?
Your
I'll
niece.
call her, I'll write her, and tell her you're going to call her, and tell her that you're interested in being part of the French crowd. Because she has a live-in lover.
You mean to
Actually, she
recruit?
calls Jean-Marie. Jean-Marie is her live-in lover. Now, that's what her mother calls him.
Living.
Live-in lover. her mother doesn't like her. She don't want her.
It's not a real boyfriend.
It's a boyfriend.
Partner. Her partner.
It's her boyfriend, but her mother doesn't like her boyfriend.
So
She puts him down and calls him a live-in lover.
What's that word in French? Oh, she's speaking in English?
Well, I write something on the board, they write it down, and they memorize it and take a test. And that's how they learn. Well, that's not how people learn. People, there's different theories of learning, but mainly people construct their own knowledge in order to make sense of their world. And, they do this in a social setting. The teachers have very little knowledge of how people learn. And so I got into how do people learn? And that led me into this thing called constructivism and then postmodernism. And then I started reading Foucault and the issue of power in the classroom. Like a teacher has all the power.
Sometimes not.
But a teacher interacts more often with white males than white females.
I thought that was changing, that the girls were always, vocal ones in class. Did you read the article in The Atlantic about how, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I read The Atlantic, yeah.
About a girl power or how it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's true that girls do better than boys in school. It doesn't necessarily translate to.
Except in math and science.
But who gets the attention though? That's the point.
The teachers interact more often with boys than girls, and they interact more often with white people than brown people than black people. And it doesn't matter if the teacher is male or female or Hispanic or black.
I have a friend of mine, I don't know if you've ever met her, Sandra Escobedo. She teaches in a bilingual school. She teaches, little kids. And she said she caught herself paying more attention and responding more to the male students in the class than female. She said she just caught herself
Because
doing
they're
that.
louder and more aggressive.
Yeah.
Well, now that's the excuse that teachers use. But if you videotape them in the classroom and time them, that's not true. It doesn't come out that way. But that's the excuse that teachers use.
It's all very depressing.
Well, it's not depressing. Things are changing. If teacher educators are starting to understand this, then the next line of teachers may act differently in the classroom.
This is something that
The problem is,
If they're aware of it, then they're taught. Like she was saying, what they do in classes to teach teachers. That what they do is to try to take turns, boy, girl, and to consciously change that. Well, if it's more, that's one suggestion they make.
yeah,
To make sure that both
we
boys and girls get attention.
like to videotape student teachers. We like to videotape students who want to be teachers in a small lesson, a micro lesson, and then critique them and ask them why they did this. And you find out that they have a lot of assumptions, values, and beliefs about teaching before they come to school. And for half of them, they never change. For about a quarter of them do change. And about a quarter of them lose everything and don't go into teaching. They get very negative attitude. I'm sorry, I'm doing all
This feels like a talk show.
Yeah, get out of here. Sometimes you can't even notice the transformation.
Within yourself.
Yeah. And what happened, with Trista is I just went a little bit, bonkers. I stopped taking my medicine. I would get depressed and manic at the same time, and I would spend long hours writing depressing poetry. Does that make any sense?
A lot of teenagers.
Yeah, teenage angst. Yeah. There's a lot of teenage suicide too. In any event, I went through a stage like that.
I don't understand how you could. Okay.
He said, first of all, I get so depressed that, you know, I didn't even want to get out of bed. And, you know, I ran 2 classes from my house on the computer, for example. And,
Telecommuting?
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I set it up so that the kids didn't have to, the students didn't have to come to school, but they could stay on the computer. And I had, you saw those message boards. As a matter of fact, Trista made a few comments on the message boards too, student, didn't you?
Yeah. Someone was talking about different types of research, something about languages. Or...
Yeah, that was a real neat girl too. She wanted to do, it was a course called Curriculum Analysis, but we negotiate the curriculum so that she wanted to develop a curriculum for teenagers that consisted of what? Current stuff instead of that namby-pamby crap they give you in children's and adolescent literature. You know, so she was doing that, and you know, we were corresponding back and forth, and I think Trista sent her a couple of notes. Something that we needed her to do.
Yeah, and then they asked you, who is that person? Who is that?
Yeah, you should have kept it up for the whole course. So in any event, you know, I'm sitting at home in my pajamas. You know.
Did you not want to see them? Did you see the students?
Well, I was depressed. I didn't even want to, you know, get dressed or do anything like that. I really stopped taking my medication. And one reason why manic depressives stop taking the medication is because the mania is really a tremendous high. You know, I mean, I could stay up for days. As a matter of fact, last week I was going through a manic phase, and I knew it. Even with the medication, you go through these phases, but they're less intense.
So was I then.
What?
So was I.
You were what?
Having a manic phase.
You were? Fantastic.
You want to be?
You can share some of my medicine. No, you don't have to do that. Was she going through a manic phase, man?
Did you turn on the power switch before the light switch?
Was I
Let me
going through a manic? Was I having a mania?
Mariam, you mean like manodepressive?
Yeah, last week.
signed by the ex
You?
and initialed by the
It's me, you.
Just in general.
I think she
You
just...
should start some
Pretend.
some matter section.
Manu, what? What's that? Like a...
That's something to do with the
I
breast
read for
keeper?
your hyperactive time.
Oh, he thinks I'm lazy.
Okay, do you know how to get to work?
Lazy.
You think I'm lazy?
This street right here. They have to go all the way around the block. Yes.
I think you're Irish. I think you're really Irish.
No, you can actually.
Didn't she
It's the
live
same
in
people.
Irish?
Yeah.
Huh?
It's the same people.
Yeah. Yeah, as a matter of fact, one of my ancestors was born in
This goes in the dash.
Falaise.
I don't know what fun is.
It's in Normandy. It's a castle at Falaise.
Incidentals.
His name was William Phil.
Being paid for by the German European Studies.
It's
I don't know, I
1066.
think you look both...
No way.
I think you look very Northern French. You know, once you get to, you know, know
I
chouchous.
You know every little angle.
No, you got a check nose though.
My mom has sharp nose.
She
Long,
does?
long and
Well,
sharp.
that's right.
Mine's bigger than
That's right. That
Her mom is super cool. Very cool. I love your mom.
my
She's great.
first wife's mother came from Normandy. As a matter of fact, the town was called Gisrael. You ever hear of that? It was the first town that was invaded by the British. And they're kind of funny people. Her side of the family has this guy, Tonton Pierre, who has a car in the garage and he takes it out and drives it on Sunday. Just drives it down to the service station and get it checked and then drives it back to the garage.
What does he do the rest of the week?
It's there in case he needs it.
We could go see that.
It's a Düsseldorf.
Was,
I love those cars. That's my favorite.
It was either de Beauvoir or Sartre. Were either of them manic depressive at all?
No.
I
No?
don't think so. At least it's not been recorded.
Sartre was a very happy man. He was always very optimistic.
Really?
Yeah, in real life. Very solid, self-confident man.
He was a very competitive guy.
Competitive. With some arguments.
Well, when they went through school, he was always number one and Simone was number two. They went through school together. And he was always, so competitive with her that he had to beat her in terms of grades. I don't know what kind of grades they gave or anything. But yeah.
One thing that would be interesting to do is
You're
when
right
we
about
go
the
to
time.
Paris,
Yeah.
is to try to see if we can get any of their work from when they were students, or how. Where did they go? Where did they go to the Sorbonne or what?
They both
They did?
did, yeah.
So maybe we can get from the philosophy department. They must have it
Do
on
you have
record.
a microphone on that?
No, but it does record audio.
It does record voice,
Yeah.
so
But
there's a microphone
probably-
built in.
Yeah, but it's not. It'd be better to have a microphone,
I know.
obviously. But
So anyway, they don't even study Jean-Paul Sartre in French school anymore. I see. They don't. They just
Why
don't
not?
study him at all.
I took my year in philosophy there.
Oh, yeah?
They really focus on the classics, Descartes, Kant. That's they're really.
That's the worst part about philosophy, the way it's being taught, especially at American universities. They either teach it as a history course or as analytical philosophy with all the logic crap.
logic crap.
Philosophy is bad. I don't know how Lansman's going to react to that, but philosophy as a subject.
Yeah, if you ask if you can take care of that.
I don't think so.
Or a concept is
I don't think so. There's always new. There's Foucault.
like what? What's the last?
Well, you went to that
philosophy?
philosophy conference, remember?
Yeah, that
Didn't
was
you
before.
say it was dead boring and dull
This
and?
was the biggest thing.
What was the biggest thing?
Not this conference. In the last 20 years, it's been John Rawls, and his book is very boring.
What's he?
Political philosophy, theory of justice. It's centered around
What's his
one-
first name?
John.
John Rawls.
He's at Berkeley, right?
R.A.
He's at Berkeley,
R-A-W-L-A?
isn't he?
No,
Who was the one that was at Berkeley?
there's a famous guy, Searle.
Yeah,
Searle,
John Searle.
I think.
Yeah, but the last true philosophy that had been invented is pragmatism. Well, it's capitalist. It's typically American.
I don't like pragmatism.
What?
Whatever works best must be right. It's not.
It's,
What's wrong with that?
It's the American philosophy.
Yeah.
William James, I did a whole course on that.
It's capitalism and all of its benefits and everything, and it's dead. There's no reason to have a philosophy anymore. Everything is. If we look at the way knowledge is constructed, everything is post-epistemological. We don't even have to study the epistemology of the subject or the concept.
Things are still going with AI.
Yeah, but these are just people who are mentally masturbating.
Yeah. Once you get into it,
I'm sorry.
but if you narrow it down to philosophy of science,
dial 29
then it
for
gets
me.
more interesting.
Yeah, okay, let me get something.
Philosophy of science.
All the basics.
Yeah, I teach philosophy of science education as a seminar.
Like Kuhn and Popper.
Yeah. The trouble with that is almost all of our scientists on campus are all logical positivists, and what they do is whatever NSF or NIH is funding. They have no independent thoughts.
There's one professor at San Francisco State where I was last year.
Oh yeah.
This year.
Oh, geez, I wish I would have cut off one of my wings to teach at San Francisco State or live in San Francisco.
Did you ever apply?
Nah, they never had openings in the department.
It's kind of a scuzzy
Place.
campus. It's
Yeah.
not enjoyable.
Yeah, it's San Francisco I like the city. Actually, I like Berkeley now. I just walked up and down Telegraph Avenue today. First time in my life.
Is this the first time?
No, I've been here before.